Hello and thank you for stopping by. In this video, I'm just going to show you a quick way of creating a stunning custom business card in literally minutes. So let's get started. So to do that, you can just select this business card here, and then if we click it, it's just going to open all the business cards that we have in terms of design. And then you just click on this one. Let's assume we want to purchase this business card. It's very simple. So the most important thing is to look on this right side. So these options count. So the options are just many. So you can choose whichever you want. And some of them are free. Others have a small incremental cost to them. So for instance, paper type doesn't change anything. You can take whatever density of paper that you want, but the default is 350. That's a good size business card in terms of the thickness of the paper. Then you go to the finish. You have various types of finishes, but the most popular ones are the matte lamination and the gloss lamination. But my favorite is the soft touch. And then we have the gold foil, silver foil, wavy blue, and then red foil. So to check if it has any kind of cost component to it, you see the costs, the incremental cost being added to over here. It's quite simple. So let's say we in this option we choose let's say soft touch lamination here. Okay, so you would realize that soft touch lamination adds another 7 pesos to the cost and things like that. Okay, so then the corners, they are rounded corners and square corners, and some of them are 4-sided corners, 2-sided corners, whichever. The options are just many. Then you choose, would you want Prinnto to design for you, which is, if it's yes, it's going to add a cost component to it. And then if it's no, you can upload your own design, or you can use the free Prinnto online design, and that's what we're going to be using, right? And then here you can change the quantity. So if we change the quantity to 500, you're going to get some discount associated with it. So it's quite intuitive here. Okay, so I'm going to stick with, let's say, 250 for now, or actually even 100, just for demonstration purpose. So from here, I just go here and just start and upload design. So if you click on this start, what it's going to do is that it's going to give you two options. Do you want to upload your design, or you want to design here online, basically? So I choose this option to design this product online. So once you get to this design pane here, it's very straightforward. So just before we even get started, although you have chosen this template to work with, there are other templates here that you can easily use. So for instance, if you want to use this one, you just click on it and it will load. Then you would be able to edit these areas. So this area, you just double click and you can work on it. The same thing here. And then all these designs have got front and back designs. So this is the front, and then you click here, it will go to the back, and all these things, these items are editable. So you can go through any one of them at all. So we can try this one as well. It's quite straightforward. Then you just go in, edit them, go to the next page, edit it, and then you're good to go. So for what we're trying to do, we move back to our primary template that we chose, which is this one, and we're just going to quickly edit them to our taste, basically. All right. So the first thing that we do is that you here just double click that, and then once you double click that, it highlights the text that needs to be edited, and just edit it. So in this case, let me just use this name. Okay. All right. So that's I think this name. Let's hyphenate this name. Okay. So once again, we come here, and then we give it a title. So director. Then we change the address here, or we can keep the address the same. It follows the same logic. You can just type in anything that you want here, right? So once that the address piece is done, we just move on to these areas to change the email addresses. So it follows the same logic. So let's just create an email account. So I'll say EEA, I'll say Ghana, right? Okay, that's done. Then let's change that to early excellence. Okay, so when you look at it, the font size is a bit bigger for this one, so you can actually reduce the font size so that it fits perfectly. So this is where you change that. It's 191.22. So let's change it to, let's say, 160. You just type in 160 and hit enter, and it fits perfectly. This phone number is not a Ghana phone number, so let me change that to any Ghana phone number. So if it's going to be an international thing, you can change it +233 blah blah blah, right? And then add the other number, the other line to it. If you have like multiple numbers, right, you just hit the enter key so that it taps down, and then let's say you have 050 328 325 1111, right? This is just, I'm making this up basically. Okay, so with this you basically are done. Then all that you do is you can hold it like this and then reposition it, right? Okay, so that everything lines up properly. Now I decide, okay, I need to move this around. I don't want, and actually I need to move this around a little bit so that the name is up and the title is down, right? So I can do that very, very simply. Okay, actually before then, let's do one more time. I'm gonna bring in the logo. So this logo here, we don't need it, right? This is the default. So you can either actually pick it up, drag it, and drop it outside this design pane. That's one way of getting rid of it. Or you can come to the layers. The long way is you see the layers here. You see this, say, Prinnto here, right? You can delete it from here, right? So it's gone. So that's one way, other way of doing it. So basically, I just come to photos here, and then I will just click on upload image. So I click here, right, this cloud thing, and it's going to take me to my page where I have my design here. This is the logo design. I select it, click open, and then it will show up. It will show up basically here, right? Okay, and then show up here as well. So we just need to resize it. So once we resize it, we can position it here. Okay, it's perfect. Now since we're positioning it here, right? Okay, since we're positioning it here, look at this color. We want to mimic this green color here. So you just change the color from this side, and we don't have, there's a green here with a default palette, but we don't want, this green looks a little bit lighter, so we can play with it, right? So you go here and select from the color picker. So this green, you come here, so you play with it until you get something close to what you want, right? Okay, so you click choose, and then when you click out of it, the color is a little bit matches this other one here a little bit, right? So pretty much nicely done, right? Then I'll pick this one. This line here, you see that's a little bit too thick for my liking, so I would want to make it a little bit thinner. So if you double click the line here, as I have, then you go to this opacity here to reduce the opacity. We just want the line to be a little bit silent. So let's click out of it and see. So it's now a little bit silent here. We can do the same thing here. Sometimes trying to identify this line is a little bit of a hassle because it's not that big anyway. So you can pick it up, or you can actually pick it up from the layer side. And the way to identify which line you're dealing with is turning on and off this layer. So you hide it or show it. So see this, I hid a layer, but you couldn't see it very well. So I'm gonna hide more, right? So the first one we worked on was that that we hid. So this is gonna be, so this is actually it, right? So that's it. So we identified this layer, and we are going to reduce the opacity on that layer. Okay, and that's fine. And you don't need to do all these though. This is just for demonstration purposes, right? So once that is done, we remember we have two pages, the front and then the back. So we're done with the front, so we move to the back, and you just click on this down arrow button here. The first thing that you notice is that this surface is black, and we are going to delete this. We're going to remove this logo, right? It doesn't apply. So this time around, I'll just drag and throw it outside. Okay, and then I'll bring in our logo here. Just drag and drop the image. Okay, and then once again we'll resize it. But what you would notice is that this white logo doesn't match very well with a black background, as you can see. So we need to kill this black background. Yeah, and the way to do it is you just turn it off, so, or hide it. So we hide the background here, and everything turns to white, right? Which is nice. Then the final thing is this slogan here. So the first thing you need to do is here, we go here and change the font. This font is not very nice, right? So you can use any font at all. You can change it from here, like here, or you can go to this text here and use any of the built-in fonts to work on this. So right, so you can change it, use that to change it here, right? Okay, so this one you can here, and then you edit through it, you type through it, right? Which will be great. In that case, you can decide to throw this away, right? So if I use that, I think I'll get rid of this one. If I were to use that, I'll just get rid of this one, and then I will use this one. I think it's nurture, confident, and respectful mind. Okay, great. So with this, we notice that the font, actually let's move it here. The font is too large, so let's change the font to say 180. So once we have this, we can get rid of this one, and we can get rid of that one, and maybe increase this a little bit so that it's more legible. So let's increase that to 200. Okay, it looks awesome, right? It looks awesome, and we can center it, do anything that we want with it. So once that is done, you have your back page done, you have your front page also done, and then the next thing that you do is you just hit on this button. It takes you to the page where you can select options if you haven't already done so, right? And move on to pay for it, to get it printed and shipped to you. So once that we're here, we just look at this, realize that this is our design, right? This is our design. We can easily add to cart to get it paid, or we can select all the options that we want, whatever options that we want to have. We can select the option, change the quantities, whatever it is, and then we add to cart. So when we click on add to cart, it's just gonna give us a pop-up to ask us whether we want to keep shopping or we want to view the cart. So we click here to view the cart. Okay, so once the cart is ready, all that we need to do is pay for it and move forward. So before you get to paying for it, you have to enter in some information, right? Okay, so with that, once the address and all the other information are complete, you realize that you still see your design here. So from here, if you still are not satisfied with the design and you would want to edit it, you just click this side, this button here to edit it. And then perchance if you want to rather upload the design instead of using this, you can still have that. It will just, you click here to just open a window for you to select your file, and then you can attach the file to this. So all your options are there, your pricing is there, and the next thing you do is basically click this place order to place your order, basically, and it uses a very secure system whereby you can pay with mobile money, right? And so you have the ability to cancel the order or to make payment. So I click the make payment, and then it will redirect me to our payment gateway, which is Flutterwave, right? And that allows you to pay via mobile money or card, whichever you want. The default is mobile money. So with this one, you go here and select the network that you're on, whether it's MTN, Tigo, Airtel, Tigo, or Vodafone. So if it's MTN, it will ask you to enter your MTN phone number, and then you see prompts that will direct you as to how to make the payment. It doesn't even take up to a minute, and it's done. The same way, if it's Airtel, Tigo, you follow these instructions here. Says dial *501 *5#, and then you continue, right? And let's look at what Vodafone also that's that one. You dial *110#, and then you follow the prompts, and then I think you generate a voucher number, and that's easy. Then, should in case you want to use a card, you enter your card number here and the validity, and then the 3-digit pin, 3-digit number at the back of it, and then you're good to go. The payment is done using this secure system. Also, should in case you want to use a different payment method, we have 2 payment methods now. I think the first one is sufficient. It's easy, it's straightforward, it's very secure. But for some reason, if you want to use the direct mobile money method, that means actually you physically transfer money to a mobile money account number. So you send it to this, you select this option, and then you look at these instructions. So actually you send it to this number 0242522627. And then after you've made a payment, you supply us with that information so that we'll be able to reconcile the account, and then mark your account as mark the transaction as completed, right? So, or once you're done, you can submit these information to this URL here, Prinnto.com/mobile money. Or actually, when you come here, this is the link. You click on this link, and then you supply. That's after you've sent the mobile money, right? So you click on this link here, and then you just provide that same information here, and we will get it, validate the information, make sure everything is fine, and then we will mark the transaction as completed so that your prints can be sent to you as soon as possible. Okay.